Today we eat, tomorrow we die. Many cite tourism as a possible cure for the nation's economic ills. The case would be a pretty difficult one to make. Police in Ethiopia have been known to confiscate video cameras from tourists who photograph public buildings. 2-year jail terms are not unheard of. Banking procedures are another problem. U.S. dollars wired to Western Union in Addis Ababa are normally transferred to the recipient in Ethiopian birr, a currency that most foreign tourists would probably prefer to forget. For a traveler, memories of Ethiopia are not easily erased. One recalls the expression of affection amongst friends, so commonplace throughout Africa, but quite pronounced in Ethiopia. Ethiopian pride, a national touchstone. Whether regarding athletics, history, or merely a simple sense of time and place, Ethiopians never fail to radiate a sense of satisfaction in their nation's accomplishments. Rural boys, sometimes as young as 5, looking after large cattle herds with bullwhips. At times, the children seem so small that one is not sure how they could possibly be fit for the task. Middle-class diners clapping their hands impatiently for service in the country's fancier restaurants. Not everyone has money in Eastern Africa, but there's a notable sense of entitlement amongst those who do. One recalls a small Bic shaver given to the patriarch of the Hammer tribe, plus careful instructions on how to use it. While appearing to be a bit dazed at first, he generally seemed quite pleased. The bedlam of boarding 5 a.m. buses, so typical of Africa in general. And where are the small entrepreneurs at this hour, one wonders? Wouldn't somebody be happy to be making a little pocket change by selling morning coffee or maybe biscuits? The windows on the buses themselves. In Ethiopia, bus windows are shut tight no matter how stuffy the air, no matter how many passengers are fighting for a seat. Local superstition holds that the opening of a bus window may lead to illness or even death. Ethiopian taxicabs, their safety assured by a host of Ethiopian saints.
My name is Jimmy Lokorma. I am from Bumi tribes.
One surely remembers people like Jimmy Lokorma of the Bume tribe, named after Jimmy Carter. The former American president assisted in the eradication of the guinea worm disease from southern Ethiopia and Sudan. Jimmy Lokorma wanted to thank him. And then there are the grim memories. Villagers carrying the sick or the dead on stretchers through the streets of small towns. You can tell by their body language what's going on, a fellow traveler remarks. If their faces are covered, they're usually dead. From the shores of Lake Tana to the coffee fields of Kaffa, Ethiopia tells a different story to each traveler that sets foot on her shores.
They refuse, don't go this way.
For the Greek poet Homer or the historian Herodotus, Ethiopia was two countries, Eastern and Western. For a present-day traveler, one Ethiopia is quite enough. Unique in Africa and having its own script, written history, and cultural links to Egypt, India, and the Middle East, most Ethiopians, as a rule, know where they came from. For the world at large, Ethiopia's profile is likely to remain a low one, brought into focus only by the next crop failure or military coup, then settling back again into a sea of forgetfulness. For a young Ethiopian like Getachew, maybe the medical field will represent a way out economically. It may offer a road to personal fulfillment as well as a way to serve his local community. But so many young people in Africa shoot high, only to falter upon the shoals of limited resources and diminishing prospects. Humanity is a product of Africa, anthropologist Lee Berger told writer Paul Theroux. We are what we are today because we've been shaped by our environment. And it was the African environment that hosted almost every major evolutionary change we've experienced on our journey towards being human. Evolution or no evolution, Ethiopia is much more than a land of sand and desert, a painted canvas with far more detail than meets the eye. Poet Walt Whitman in Leaves of Grass once wrote, "I contain multitudes, and I am not contained between my hat and boots." Ethiopia is no less mysterious. Its secrets course through the rivers that flow through its mountains and glow in the eyes of its people. A new story awaits discovery in every grain of its sands.
Kumba, Kumba, qui a changé les couleurs. Kumba, Kumba, la mer n'est plus bleue pour toi. Kumba, Kumba, qui a changé les couleurs. Kumba, Kumba, la mer n'est plus bleue pour toi.